Hello, guys. Cario here. So, sorry if I sound like this. As you can see, it's already like 2 in the morning, I'm gonna be working late in the afternoon. So, and I'm gonna be giving a shout out to Holland, Patrick, you know, from Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast, and the Missouri Liberty Alliance, And not to mention, this is a very, very late shout out to Jimmy D. I think I had him on my channel. He was like a big, audience of Mr. Holland himself, And so yeah, sorry for the loss of Mr. Holland's best friend, he had another one that died from a sickness. And but that's not what this video is about. The main video is it's the 1 year anniversary of, the that has this one at the very top has everything to do, and you guys are gonna be very shocked, what you're gonna see. Let me see. You see where it says Trump versus Biden? And then it says my most important video yet, please watch these ones. You can tell it's the same person, and I was so shocked. So this is like the 1 year anniversary of what happened at that Boise mall back in 2021, and when I recorded the video, like I think it was on Halloween, or Halloween Day, I was super shocked, because it was out a video from Edmund Bundy, like I've said, and updates about what happened there have kind of reemerged from that channel that I'm showing, but I'm not going to give you the pain and suffering of having to watch the news, real or news coverage, because the news kind of sucks, although the local news aren't that terrible, compared to like national news. There's so much cringe, I can't stand them. So yeah, it was crazy to see, how things have gone crazy, Makes me feel like the world is losing their mind, People are losing their shit, There, I said it. So be it. Why hide my bad words? So, anyways, it was very shocking, And people thought that I was his best friend, so he wasn't, I think when he talked about race, like I've said, that's when I stopped, watching his videos when he talked about how he was complaining about, oh, and he always said F and minorities, blah, blah, blah. And I took that at heart, when he said that, And that's when I, decided to unsubscribe from him, because he looked like he was angrier. I mean, come on. There are YouTubers that get angry, but his anger, and his, was just, it was something, there was something wrong, That video that I showed, that thumbnail that I showed that it says Trump versus Biden, it was actually one of his first videos I did watch, And that was when he was in South Dakota, I can give almost any information that you guys, any questions, not answering you, but I'm sure any questions that you guys have, I can try to, answer them, Well, maybe in the comment section, but he did give me permission to mirror the video that I was talking about, And his videos, what I did like about his channel was he was educating. He's not the first. He was probably one of the few like felon, gun channels, or the how to get your rights as a felon restored, But that's not what his channel was really about. It was about, state law, of how you can, what are the restrictions if you're a felon, at that state, and, where could you carry a gun at all, or you had to keep it like at home, like Texas law says, if you own a gun, if you're a felon, you have to keep it in the home. You cannot transport it. But, he was a felon, and, I mean, he did make a video talking crap about marijuana, how he thought marijuana was an abomination and how it attracted minorities. That's when I really disagreed with his position on marijuana. But then it turns out later on that he has one of his crimes, it was, petty theft. Already knew about his petty theft, crime, back in Chicago, in Illinois, you know, and and it turns out the shocking thing, well, not shocking, but the imagine my shock, like, dang, moment was like, wow. And then when he talks shit about marijuana, he gets charged with the possession of marijuana, which was crazy. It's like this dude was probably a hypocrite, for that part. And also, the the news later on, that channel said, it was said that the police shot at him. I mean, the police did shoot at him, but it turns out, that he committed suicide. It turns out that he actually committed suicide. It wasn't really shot to death by police situation. It was more of he committed suicide, and he survived at the moment but died at the hospital kind of situation where people can't survive their suicide shots. And this is a 1 year anniversary of when that incident happened, on October. And this isn't to really say, that, this isn't to really say, but, and this is just my opinion. I don't even think he really was religious at all. People would think, oh, he was right wing, he must have been religious. I don't think so. He didn't really talk about God in the channel. Because, maybe he didn't, seek I mean, I don't think he seeked the Most High, which is what led him to do that. I don't think he really seeked God enough. He didn't seek the Most High. He probably didn't have faith in him, which is why he lost it all. Even if, I mean, there are people who are Christians that do, commit crimes, and mass murder. There are Christians that do that. But the majority of people who have committed mass murders, most of them were not believers. Most of them were atheists. And some of them were probably Satanists. Based off a phone call I did to a friend. Just giving me the information about these shooters. I mean, he probably might have been a believer, but he probably wasn't. He probably had this hate in him, that caused him to like lose it all. And it turns out that he was open carrying everywhere. He wasn't telling in the videos. I think most of that escalated worse, in Boise, which is probably why he lost it all and thought, he fucked up big time, like he's in trouble, like it was like he was in a constant, state of confusion, like he was so, immersed in the world that he lost all of his morality, you know. He lost his morality so much that he decides to take it all out in a shopping mall, you know. It was super strange, you know. I was like I've said, I've heard about it, you know. I was super shocked. They did talk to one of his followers on YouTube. Her name is White Chipmunk or something like that. And she told me how, because she was like a big fan of him, you know. Her channel just consisted of chipmunks, you know, and rare chipmunks, because chipmunks was his biggest, you know, hobbies, you know, chipmunks, you know. He was like a big, you know, fan of chipmunks, you know, rodents, you know, hence the channel's name, Guns and Rodents, you know. He was also like a enthusiast of, of, mostly chipmunks, you know. He made some videos about chipmunks as well, you know. And, you know, we've talked back and forth, you know. I mean, I told him that I was Hispanic, you know, and he gave me a heart, you know, which was super weird, you know, because he did have some racial bias, you know. I don't mean his kind of racism was super weird, you know. And I know people will say, "Oh, he was one of those people. He must have been one of those people that said, oh, he was one of those people that said, oh, I'm not racist, but I'm not racist, but it's not with these type of, you know, people, you know." And, you know, it was super weird, you know, because it reminds me of a movie called Cuck, you know. Cuck, you know, and this situation almost reminded me of the movie Cuck, you know, how it was about a far right, you know, extremist, you know, a radicalization to the right, you know. I feel like this was like a real life. Kind of almost became a real life, you know, cuck shooter is what I would call the main character, you know, because he goes on a shooting spree, you know, and he kills only two people, you know, and yeah, he did only kill in the movie, you know, and that's like the same kill number as he has. Like, dang, you know, this is kind of scary, you know. I feel like that movie kind of predicted this incident a little bit, you know, but I do think I know because the media will not tell you too much of everything, you know, but it's most likely to believe that he that it must have been that he got angry, you know. It said that he was earlier at the lunch. People are wanting to assume, you know, that he planned it. I don't believe he really did. He didn't really look like a person that wanted to plan a mass killing, you know. I personally believe that he snapped, you know. I personally believe that he snapped at the shopping mall where he felt like, you know, he was humiliated and he took that rage to the shopping mall guy, I mean, the security guard at the mall, and took his life, you know. And, you know, people are wanting to say, you know, the warning signs were there, you know. I remember he did make a video about that state capitol video of him, you know. And, you know, he made a rant about how the police know who he is, you know. And he made a rant about the police. He did despise law enforcement, you know, in his videos. And people will like to make that as aha gotcha moment. Oh, he didn't like cops. Ooh, there were the warning signs, you know. Ooh. And, you know, come on, he's not the only one. So you would like to frame him just because, oh, he didn't like cops. Ooh, if somebody doesn't like cops, ooh, it must have been somebody like him. It could have been something like him, you know. It could be a potential mass killer because he didn't like cops. So that must, and then frame people like me and people that are critical of law enforcement. his reasoning of despising law enforcement might have been probably because, he was a criminal, and, maybe that's why he didn't like cops. The real reason why he didn't like cops, I mean, it's true that, it's probably true because he didn't like cops because, because of the Second Amendment, how cops, sound probably anti-gun, but I think the real reason why he didn't really like cops was because he was a criminal, and he was very messed up. He was very like, that's what I would assume, I'd only talk to him back and forth only for Second Amendment, I really did like his channel because of Second Amendment reasons, because he was super pro-gun, but I think his rhetoric was just not right, I mean, he sounded very angry in his videos. I think he did those videos the wrong way. He sounded too angry, and that's when I thought you should not really. If you are, what I would suggest, what you guys do, if you're going to make rant videos, do not sound that angry. Do not, sound like you're promoting violence, Please don't say any buzzwords that will misinterpret what people and then get you framed, for the wrong reasons, because you don't want to be compared to this man, that fucked up big time, And it was super shocking, It was like, dang, I interacted with the killer. And then looking back 1 year, I don't think about it all the time because I moved on, and most people have moved on from this incident, from this shooting, most people have moved on from this shooting, But, I really did like and the reason why I did subscribe to his channel was because he was very pro-gun. That's what I assumed, and I assumed I didn't think he was a bad person, but, months later I did see some of the patterns, I did unsubscribe from his channel back in January, I think, when he talked a lot about race, That's when I unsubscribed from him the first time, because he was talking a lot about race, and how, divisive he was with it, That's when I just unsubscribed and just said I just couldn't anymore. And then, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so tired, but I feel like I had to get this video out, because this was the 1 year anniversary since when he did it. And I'm not doing this video to glorify him or to make it, feel sorry for him kind of video. That's not why I'm trying to make this video. I'm trying to make this video just because I feel like I need to give out more information about this man, And because I interacted with him, and it was crazy, to think how I interacted with somebody that lost their mind and offed people and took their lives, and it was super shocking, And I know I'm repeating myself, So, anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, hit a like and subscribe. I'll probably make a follow-up video about this incident. I was a little bit concerned of making this video because of people that might think, will want to get me in trouble and say, "Oh, you interacted with him," or get the FBI or somebody on me because they think I know something. I don't know much about him. Anyone that wants to frame me or anything, I don't know. I only interacted with him. Don't try to lump me into being like him because I am not like him. He fucked up big time, That was a cowardly thing to do, to just lose your mind and ruin your life over it. He should have fucking, stayed home, and, love his guns at home than open carrying in places where, where he would have been humiliated, And I saw a report of him trying to get a job at a hospital while open carrying, And dude, the hospital is the worst place to open carry. You're not supposed to open carry at a shopping mall, Jacob. What was on your mind? Of course, that would have alarmed people, not to mention that hospitals are very anti gun, because their logic is, safety, because, oh, they're so scared of people with guns. I respect people that want to ban guns. That's there, but that doesn't mean that I agree with him. And oh, he's like the first open carry advocate to commit murder, because he already gave people who open carried guns a bad name. He really did. And people who open carry, open carry advocates a bad name, because of what he did at that mall. He already stained some open carry aspect, and already gave the negative stereotypes of people who open carried, firearms. He already gave the anti-gunners what they want, to give a bad name, of gun owners and people who are in a bad mood and assume, oh, he's in a bad mood. Oh, he must be in danger, and make assumptions because of people like him. So anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Sorry if I sound like I'm depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm just so tired, I need to go to sleep. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, hit a like and subscribe. Peace. I will upload this video today, right now. Peace.